What is up, everybody? Adam here from Radical Media. It's another beautiful day. It's time for another video. Every time it's a beautiful day, it's time for a video, but I'm coming back with a nice quick tutorial for you guys to help you get that cinematic look that we all aim to achieve. Now, this video specifically, we're going to be focusing on the orange and teal look. I think that's what it's called. It's a very popular look that is now being seen in blockbuster films, and I've also seen it being called the Sam Kolder look, since I'm not entirely sure. He may have been the first one to kind of use it on YouTube. There's probably other people, but that's what it's generally known as. It's really easy. You can recreate this video effect in Photoshop, Premiere, or Lightroom. I'm just going to teach you quickly how to do it in Premiere and how you can enhance it just that little bit. So without further ado, let's head over to Premiere. So as you can see here, I have a drone clip of when I was at the beach, just the drone following me. It's a pretty stock standard clip, but as you can see here, these colors they're kind of washed out, and that is what we're going to fix. So first things first, head over to the color tab. If you want to, you can add an adjustment layer above the clip, so then you can affect all clips, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to edit it directly on this clip. As you can see over here, we have our color menus. The one you have basic, correction, creative, curves, color wheels, HSL secondary, and vignette. The one that we're going to be focusing on today is color wheels. Now this is where we need to talk about how the orange and teal color effect actually works. What it does is it creates contrast, but not like exposure contrast, not black and whites, but contrast with colors, orange and teal, or blue. Let's just say blue for now. If we head back over to Premiere here, I can show you. This is called a color spectrum. See how orange is over here, and then teal is directly opposite. This means that they're complementary colors, or harmonious. I always forget the two. They're one of those. But anyway, they are aesthetically appealing to the eye because they are opposite the color spectrum. Same if you put, say, green and this pink, or you've got yellow and sort of like a purplish. They work together because they're opposite the color spectrum. So that's how this works. Now how it's created is by adding teal or blue to the shadows and then adding orange to the highlights, and it kind of changes all the colors. It gets rid of a lot of green. This is not an effect that you're going to want to use if you're trying to make a cold environment. This is definitely to warm up the video and make it look really nice and exciting and fresh. But anyway, let's get into this. So first off, start with your shadows, and I am going to place my marker somewhere around here in between dark blue and light blue. Now as you can see, all of the shadows now have this teal color. Now this isn't finalized, this is just quickly going around now. Head over to highlights and get a nice orange color, and you'll see that effect is already starting. Now head to your midtones and don't make it too strong, make it more towards the red side. Now see, this isn't quite the effect that I'm looking for, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the midtones, and I'm going to make these shadows a bit more teal. Now that's starting to get to more what we want, but I still want more red and orange, so I'm going to actually bring the midtones a lot further up. That is too much, that is way too much. Might bring these shadows up, make the midtones a lot more orange. There we go, now we're starting to get somewhere, but we still need more blue, so I'm actually going to bring these highlights down a bit. As you can see, this is the start of the effect. This is a drone shot with a Phantom 4. The problem with the cameras is they're really flat, but that's not actually a problem at all when you color grade. That's a good thing. So how we're going to fix that is I'm just going to head to basic correction for now, and I'm just going to make the blacks blacker, crush the blacks as people say. I'm actually going to crush them a lot. Just things like this shadow, they're not standing out enough. There's not enough contrast, so I'm just going to boost the contrast a bit. Maybe bring the exposure down just a tad. There we go, that's better. Now that there's more contrast, the effect looks like it's taking more of a place, because as you can see, if we take off these color wheels, ugh, gross, that looks really bad. Add the color wheels back on, boom, cinematic. That looks so much better than what it is. That beach, the colors of the beach have been brought out. The sea is nice and aqua and teal, which is what we want. Now there's still a couple of other things you can do to make this look more cinematic. This is just the bare basics. From popular films, there's things called faded film. There is this faded film slider in the creative tab, and you can just drag that up, and basically what faded film is the blacks become grey and the whites become greyer, and then it just sort of merges a bit. It makes it look a bit older, a little bit more cinematic. But I don't like to use this faded film slider because it doesn't give you that much creativity. You're just pulling it up, and if you're just trying to do something quick, you can do that. But what I do is I head to curves, the RGB curves, and then grab this bottom section and then bring that up on a diagonal. Basically what that does, that darkens the blacks, and it also makes it more white. You can especially see it on my shirt here. If I just Control Z that from my shirt, that's what it was. And then that's what it made it. So that's what it does. It makes the blacks grayer. And I'm going to do the same to the highlights. And you should be able to see it around here. The waves aren't quite as white anymore. You can especially see it in the sky. And also what I like to do is I like to add a little S-curve in the midtones here. And how you do that, you just click in the middle part to create sort of an anchor point, and then grab in there and pull that down just ever so slightly. And it gives it a little bit more contrast and a little bit punchier, but still with that faded film effect. Now I'm actually going to see if that actually does look any good, because it depends on the effect that you're going for. Because see, this is really crisp and really nice, but then it all depends on the feel of the video that you want. If you want kind of memories from a trip, this probably looks better. If you go in for just a cinematic edit, this probably looks better because of the lighting. I'm going to leave it like this. I actually prefer that. So I'm not going to put any faded film on. And then one last thing that you can do to help this cinematic effect is by putting the classic black bars up on top of your video. And people have presets for this, and you really don't need presets. It's so easy. Just go down to this little new thing, click on it, go new adjustment layer, just click OK. Drag that on over your footage, make it the length, and then head to your effects menu and type in crop. Drag and drop that onto the adjustment layer that is above your video clip. And what I do is just the top, type in 10%, go down to the bottom, type in 10%. The cinematic black bars, and you can adjust this. If you don't want them that big, you can make them, sometimes I use 5%, and it depends on what kind of video it is. Normally if it's lots of close-ups, I like to have the bars a little bit smaller because you can see more detail, but it's a nice little post-production effect that you can add to just give it a little bit more production quality. And that's it. That's all there is to the teal and orange effect. You can get LUTs and stuff like that. You can even make this your own LUT if you don't know what a LUT is. They're called color LUTs or color lookup tables, LUT. And to add them, you go to creative, go there and click browse, and you find you have all these. Don't worry about them. But you can save this as your own LUT, or you can just make it for the adjustment layer each time. It really doesn't take that long because it varies depending on the video. That's all there is to it. It's really easy, really simple to make that look much better. Now, let's just do a quick comparison over here of before and after. On this side, we have before color grading, and this side is after color grading and adding those black bars, and just see how much nicer that looks. That's around about the same shot there. See how much more vibrant that is, and much more engaging, and that's what we're after. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed and you learned something from this video. If you want, leave a comment down below if you want me to focus on different types of color grading or any certain editing techniques that you want me to teach you, just so I know what you guys want, and I'll make it for you. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Catches.